All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Landmade Brewing, and they are out of Poolesville, Maryland, and this is their Ewing. So they're calling this one a Czech Dark Lager that comes in at 5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed, time of review. This can is just under 6 weeks old. So we have another Landmade beer here. A couple weeks ago, I reviewed their Julie, which is the sibling to this beer because it was a Czech pale lager. Really good beer at 4%. One of the best within the style I've had, and I already had bought this one when I bought that. So I'm really excited to see what this one has to offer, considering I am loving me some Czech-style dark lagers over the past year or so. So they have a little spiel here on the side. It says, there's more to Ewing than meets the eye. Our Czech dark lager looks dark, tastes dark, but is as easy drinking as any light-bodied beer out there. Featuring continental, European specialty dark malt and Czech Saaz hops, Ewing presents a complex flavor profile in an approachable and highly drinkable manner. Sounds delicious to me. So let's crack this one open and get it in the glass, see what we got going on. Also want to give a shout out to the owner of Landmade, Gabe Scott, who left a comment on that Julie review, and he said he appreciated the honest feedback. And he also mentioned the pricing. Now, for that Julie, I paid $4.99 a can, and I paid the same for this, which is expensive. You're talking sub 5%, Czech pale and dark lagers, and $20 a 4-pack in my area. But he did say they don't control the pricing and distribution, which clearly they don't, and most breweries do not. But unless you self-distribute, I guess. But anyway, he said that they're also looking at their brewery to find a way to lower production costs and make these a little bit more affordable, because at the brewery in Poolesville, these are $17 a 4-pack, talking $4.25 a can. It's a bit pricey. I will say, based on their Julie, really good beer. Hopefully this is the same. And if you're in and around Poolesville, definitely support them. Great beer. Like I said, a little bit pricey, but you pay for quality, and that beer was quality, and I'm telling you right now, this beer looks as quality as can be. Why? Because this looks like the Czech Saaz that I recently reviewed, their Bohemian Dusk, which is my favorite dark Czech-style dark lager to date from American Brewery. This looks the exact same, because that looked, not straight on, full on like a dark brown or even black. This looks like in the glass, like iced tea, and that's how that one looked. Now the head has dissipated from a finger to a thin film, has like a light tan colored head. Looks soap sudsy and fine. There's good clarity here. It's not crystal clear. There is a little bit of like haze in here, but this looks like that Czech Saaz Bohemian Dusk, and that excites me. Let's get a nose. Yeah, it smells awesome. So the reason why I'm really loving Czech-style dark lagers as opposed to like German black lagers, or even just like lighter colored German lagers or Czech lagers in general, is I love that toasted kind of bread quality, and that's exactly what this is providing. It's toasty bread. It's a little bit of crackery malt. There's slight hints of like a cocoa powder, a lightly roasted coffee, hints of a toffee or a caramel, molasses. It's just, they're very subtle and nuanced, but they work so well in this. It smells so inviting. It really does. There's a touch of like a sulfur note. And there's just a very nice, like earthy kind of floral-esque hop character that's not too big, but it's kind of balancing out the nose. The nose does not scream too sweet or too much malt. And for 5%, yeah, it just smells awesome. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. That is fucking delicious, my friends. I think it's just as good as the Czech Saaz one. Maybe not as good, but it's close. It's real close. Body on this is like medium body, so it's lighter, so you could drink more of it, but it's not thin, it's not watery. The mouthfeel, it's crisp, it's clean. It's really refreshing. It's super crushable. Like they said, what did they say on here? Exactly. They said, Ewing presents a complex flavor profile in an approachable and highly drinkable manner. Yes, that's the perfect way of putting this. This is a very complex beer. There's a lot going on, especially for the ABV. But at the same time, I could just crush this glass and not think twice. No off flavors or anything in the tech. The nose carries over pretty much to a T. Up front, toasty, not really roasty, toasty, brown bread, a little bit of that caramel and toffee, cocoa powder, light roasted coffee, touch of molasses, all at the forefront, crackery, that toasted bready qualities carries on throughout the palate, so it's omnipresent, but it's never the predominant note aside from the first like maybe third, maybe first quarter of the palate. After that, it just dives underneath. As it continues through the palate, it just rides, a decent malt sweetness, and then I'm hit with this earthy, floral, almost spicy hop character. This finishes semi to full on dry, and this has a nice, like, mild to moderate bitterness. Very well balanced from that aspect. It's just super easy to drink. I'm loving this style because this, now, if you haven't watched the channel before, I mention this seemingly every couple of weeks or so because I want to understand, or let you understand where I'm coming from. I had open heart surgery, replaced my aortic valve back in June of 2021. I typically can drink a single beer per day, or if it's a low ABV beer, I can drink 2. But I can't really drink more than that. I can't get drunk and get crazy and just go, ham all the time. I never used to. I usually would drink 1 or 2 beers per day, but sometimes, on the weekend, maybe I drink 3, 4, 5. I don't do that anymore. If I still could, to like have a session beer to session on, this would be the beer. This style would be the beer that I would probably have in my fridge at all times. While I love Jenny Cream Ale and it is my go-to crusher of a low ABV beer, this is more me. This is where I came from when it comes to craft beer. I like, darker beers, and this is darker, but with like a, lighter, paler so, and that's what I like. So anyway, this is really good. I think this is better than their Julie. Doesn't quite get to the level of that Jack's Abbey Bohemian Dust. That kind of blew me away. This is very close. So Ewing from Landmade, no problems whatsoever giving this one a high 4.25. I'm going to go 4.35 out of 5. It almost gets in the low 4.5 range. It just doesn't quite get there. But I gave Jack's Abbey their Bohemian Dust a 4.5, so this is not far off from that beer. And like we said, price point, $17 for a pack at the brewery, and in distro here in Buffalo was $4.99 a can. Again, values in the eye of the beholder. Some folks would have no questions buying this for $5 a can in distro if it was delicious, and some people won't touch it with... at all, just period, right? Me, I don't think I'd buy this one here. Personally, just again, there's that Bohemian Dust from Jack's Abbey was $13.99 for a pack, so $3 less, and it was a little bit better than this. But if you're in Maryland, I cannot stress enough how well made these 2 beers were, Ewing and Julie. So go check them out if you haven't. I know if you were the channel Ryan, he went to pick up some of their stuff, and a day or 2 before I review this, he just posted his Untappd check-in of Julie, gave it a 4.4. He's like, oh, this is awesome because they do make great beer. So I recommend the brewery, especially if you're in Maryland. Go check them out. See if you can get some of their beers because it's really good. And availability, I have no idea outside of Maryland. I don't know who else gets distro. We see them here in Buffalo, but outside of that, I have no idea. So 5% alcohol, yeah, you really can't taste it. So kudos to Gabe and Landmade for another really tasty, highly enjoyable beer. Hopefully they find a way. Everything's crazy expensive nowadays, but hopefully they find a way to maybe get the price down $1 or $2, so they're kind of in the realm of the Schillings, the Human Robots, and some of the upper echelon American lager producers that high quality, but also been expensive because it's tough here in Buffalo to pay this price. But if I was in Maryland, I would definitely go to the brewery occasionally, and I would pick up some of their stuff from time to time and support them because they seem to make good beer. Anyway, if you've had this one before or anything from Landmade, post in the description box. I'd appreciate any comments. To the next one. I was going to hold this up and say cheers, but like, kind of off my game right now. Don't know why, but cheers.